All right, friends, how's it going? Zig coming in on the top. Today on the show, we have Grav. This is a double show week, so we're getting an early episode before our regular schedule episode, but it's for a good cause. Our friends Grav are having a CD, an EP release at the Winchester September 11th with our good friends Rubix Grove and Chewy Center. During this episode, it's kind of a party setting. There's like 6 people in the room, so at times maybe a little confusion, but I think everyone did a really good job of letting each other talk and not talking over each other. But during this interview, we have Josh, Clay, Steve, and Leah guest appearance. And this was my first podcast out of the bunker, as far as the COVID bunker, and it was a lot of fun. Each member of Grav is an on-par musician. These guys know their stuff, they got chops, and they write good songs. It's not just a shred fest, but it's very musical. And I can't recommend checking these guys out live or just even listening to the records or find some live videos. Dig into these guys. It's when you go through like the kind of generations of musicians that come before and come after, you're always after somebody. And when you see what's coming up behind you, it's even more cool to see that it's better and way more talented and exciting, because what comes after them is going to be the next level of that. So Sea Level's been around for a minute, and Grav was kind of like the freshman class band, so it's really cool to see them blossom into what they're blossoming to, and I can't be more excited to say that they're my friends, and they help out with like all the crazy Dog for Diego shows I come up with, and I'm very excited for you guys to hear their new record. So that's September 11th, the Winchester, also on all streaming platforms, September 11th. And before we get into it, if you can like, rate, subscribe, review the podcast and all the podcast platforms, it helps me keep talking to cool guests like Grav and sharing their insights with you. This Wednesday coming up, we have Lydia Lunch on the show. She is headlining the FemFest in Canton, Ohio at the Buzzbin. So that's what's coming up. Check that one out too. And without further ado, here's my conversation with Grav.
Onesie?
It's not a onesie.
Oh,
It's not a onesie. It's just pajama bottoms.
nice.
I didn't know like when I was moving stuff here, because I haven't like brought stuff anywhere. It's all just been home. You know, the most I've had to do is like, oh, are we Skyping today or phoning today? And I've only had to worry about 2 channels. You know what I mean? So like I wasn't sure how to like, and I've brought this for like negative space stuff, but I haven't brought it out for like a podcast. So I don't need to bring as much. Typically, I put it in the box I got it with. I don't know. Are you guys like that? Do you keep shit in the box like pedals?
No. Oh, in the box it came in?
Yeah.
Not my pedals, no.
No. Like, I don't know. Like, people are like that with, like... I've been doing that with pedals and shit because I always think I'm going to return it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I do that with my Switch.
You do that Switch?
My Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Because there's no... Whenever I can, because there's no way to really properly carry that, because I want to bring a bunch of controllers too. So then it's like, what am I gonna separate them all with like a shirt buffer in between? You know?
Yeah, that's like a professional
Right.
move. Even more professional to do pajama bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just do that.
Yeah, cool. I don't know. I started rolling a minute ago. So yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So we're good to get into it. But yeah, so we're in. Does the HQ? Do we have a name for the compound?
I guess just Grav HQ.
Grav HQ?
Grav House.
Grav House?
Grab
Yeah.
House, what it's usually referred
That's
to
what I've
as.
seen it as.
Yeah. Okay.
I was excited when you said, like, where are we going to do it? Because I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's up to us.
Right.
Just roll on through.
Well, it worked out because, like, where I'm at now, the only place to handle a group like this, because once you hit me up, Steve, let's do a quick intro so everyone knows who's here. We'll start with Josh.
My name is Josh Sinclair, otherwise known as Knight Rider.
Solid.
Craigo, I play drums, sing.
Solid.
Josh Bailey. Guitar. Steve Smith. Bass and vocals.
And bonus.
I'm just here for fun. Leah Marra.
I didn't know we were going to say our roles. My role, Josh Sinclair's role, is that I play guitar and sing and Grav.
Very nice. I forgot where I was going to go with that now. But yeah, so when you said where are we going to do it, at my place, I got like the only place we can do it would be in the basement, but the water system's like, and it's just really fun if you're listening to that all the time while trying to hear what people are talking. And when you sent me the address, I was like, oh, I think either Josh Bailey, who I'm pointing at sonically, told me about Grav HQ, or Leah did. Someone told me about Grav HQ, but here we are. And this Saturday, Winchester is the release, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Hubbub EP
Too
release.
soon. Not too soon. That date, everyone should remember it. September 11th.
Of course.
It's also his birthday.
It's my birthday, so I've
Whoa. Hold up. It's your birthday
on 9/11.
on 9/11. Okay. Has that put a damper on your birthday ever since, like...
No,
like
I mean
yeah, I was gonna say
No.
I was trying to do your age, but then I'm like, I don't know how
I
old
was
are
in
you.
kindergarten. My mom came and picked me up from school.
Yeah?
I thought it was because it was my birthday.
Yeah.
She took me to Mark's.
You went to Mars.
Yeah, she didn't tell me what happened. She just she was like, "We're going home."
Yeah.
And then we went to Mark's and she bought me a Batman costume.
Whoa.
Like, so I got a bonus birthday
Yeah.
present.
Dude, I never
Boom.
heard that.
That's
The
so
Batman
weird because
costume. It was just the mask, the cape, and like some handcuffs. I wore it for years, yeah.
he works alone. That's so weird because like when that happened, I was in 4th grade, right? And my mom took us to Walmart.
What'd she get you
I
for
got
9/11?
for my 9/11.
Yeah.
I think I got it. I don't remember, but I just remember going to Walmart that day. Let's see. All right, this is a good start. Leah, what did you do on 9/11?
Well, I went to a Catholic school, so we all had to go to church and pray
Whoa,
for everyone. And then
bummer 9/11. Josh,
I
what did you do? No, no, I'm sorry. No recollection.
I don't remember.
No, keep going, Leah. I cut you off.
it's cool, dude.
What a way to start a podcast.
Why not? I don't know. Josh, what did you do on your 9/11?
My 9/11 didn't go too hard. I just was very young. I wasn't in school yet, and I remember asking why they would fly a plane purposely into the building, and my grandma said it was because they wanted to meet God.
Damn.
I was like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Damn. Yeah, that's like an actual like. How old were you?
4?
Yeah, I was
4. See, that's like a well thought out 4-year-old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was older and I don't remember being like, well, like, oh, whatever, you know, cool. We're at Walmart now. We're done. Like, it did not click until a couple days later. Like,
Then it was
oh,
like weeks of I'm proud to be an American.
right, which is what's gonna happen at the Grav show. Like, it's just gonna be a patriotic show, is what I read, right?
We
We're
should
an
come on
American
to it.
band.
Yeah.
Wait. How was your 9/11?
Oh,
See?
me, I was in kindergarten. I also got pulled out of school early, and I didn't know what happened until next year. And then next year on
Wow.
that day, they're like, "This is what happened when you got pulled out of school."
That's what that was?
You didn't
Yeah,
see
it
the
was messed up.
footage?
No, I didn't see none about it.
I remember more of the Toby Keith song about it.
The Toby Keith song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Can you
remember the
sing it?
Toby Keith song.
All right, so like the chorus it starts with like a really like, you know, really badass intro talking about this metaphor like, you know, don't rattle the cage of the old bulldog, which is like America. And then the chorus then there's a big held out chord, then he says, "'Cause we'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list." And the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. And then,
Dude,
and
that is so
it would make
fucking
me. I'm making me sweat right now just thinking about it. Really, that was and my grandma would let me sing it and say ass. And she had me do it at a family wedding. Actually, she had me do it in front of everybody. It was maybe my first performance.
Really?
Yes.
For real?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually.
So it's the anniversary.
That's a great intro. That's the 9/11 being the
wasn't all
date of the
bad.
show, but it's actually opening a lot within this. That was your first gig, was singing that Toby Keith song.
I guess I didn't think about that.
Wait, whose wedding was it?
That's why I couldn't remember. Maybe cousin Liz.
Cousin Liz. Shout out! It all started when cousin Liz married Uncle Tom. I don't know.
I can't remember which one.
Oh, cousin Liz's wedding.
Uncle Tom is perfect though.
I don't know. Just fill it in the
I believe
blanks
you.
here.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
A cousin marrying an uncle.
Babu. It was already strange, but the song was fitting. I don't know.
Right.
Do you remember Bruce Springsteen's 9/11 song?
No, but I work with someone that was telling me I need to check it out recently.
Like rise up. Like, it's pretty rad.
calls everyone to rise up. That's great.
A little more uplifting than like kick their ass.
Right. Hey, it was effective.
Right. So 9/11, Winchester. Who's on the bill?
All right, so I think first we got Chewy Center playing. The Chewy Center,
Yeah.
local jam phenomenon.
Then we got Rubik's Grove.
Rubik's
Rubik's
Grove.
Grove.
Nice.
Fun. There'll be some sit-ins towards the end of the night.
Does
gonna be
Chewy
fun.
Center have anything to do with Camel Butter? No, because Rubik's Group does. They're like bongo players that are drummer, right?
Yeah, Blake.
Blake. So like, I don't know. Chewy Center sounds like it would have something to do with a band called Camel Butter.
It'd be
I don't know.
delicious.
Are they all jamming with you guys? Like, is there like, because this is basically gonna be a preview. Ideally, this comes out tomorrow night, depending how crazy we get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we start doing impressions. I really have to edit stuff down. Like, it already took a turn with the 9/11 start. Usually that's the stop. So like,
The most dynamic podcast starter.
right, this is where it's gonna be right here. But with that being said, is there any previews you can share? Like, Leah's singing with you guys. Is that a spoiler?
No.
No.
Nah.
Okay.
She's gonna sing with us, and then the guitarist from Chewy Center is gonna sit in
Okay.
as well, and it'll be cool.
Then we should be having James in the Rubik's Groove horn section. As
Oh,
well.
sick.
James
Okay.
in the
Yeah, we're
horns.
just laying it
James.
out there.
Yeah?
You can expect some jam fusion.
Jam fusion.
Yeah.
Cross
It'll be nice.
pollination.
Are you doing the a double drummer thing this time around?
No.
I wish.
But doing that was really cool on the July 3rd gig.
Right.
We did like a all Grateful Dead thing, and my buddy Josh Leslie was on the second drum set, and it was just cool because we're all big into the Grateful Dead, so and I'm always playing the songs as one drummer,
Right.
so it's really interesting to like be able to pull off some of those like double drummer things.
What are some of those double drummer things? Like when you listen as a drummer and as a drummer who sings,
Yeah.
like you have to kind of boil down a little bit so you can sing and play.
Yeah,
But, like-
you want to, but also like you want to get to the point where the drumming is and the singing is kind of like on autopilot.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you overthink it, that's when you screw up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like I don't know, we did this Grateful Dead song called Samson and Delilah, and that's one where like one drummer's kind of keeping the backbeat, and then typically in the Grateful Dead, one of the other drummers rides like the toms and stuff, and it just sounds so thick, and it was awesome. And then having the keyboard player too.
Yeah.
Mike Aberdeen.
Good old Mike
Mike
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Rounding it out.
He's been sitting in on some Grav shows periodically.
Yeah.
And it's been-
Nice.
it's been
Well,
a
you work
pleasure.
with Mike,
I
right,
work
Josh?
with Mike. Yeah, he's an absolute pleasure to play with.
And
He's
the gig.
best.
Explain the gig, to listeners who may not know
The
what
Grateful Dead gig?
Well, no,
Or-
not the with what you work with Mike, the garage.
Oh, the garage gig. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. 'Cause I don't know what that is.
It's like it's kind of hard to explain. The best way I can explain it is me and Mike work at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame among some other people, and we basically run jam night all day. Like we just are.
All night,
we sit
all
there
day.
as a house band and wait for people to show up, and we try to call people off the streets and jam something with them. And then a lot of times they're really timid and don't play anything, so we try to do karaoke. Some people are into that. Sometimes they just want to hear something, and we'll get them to like play tambourine or something. Sometimes if it's really slow, someone's never played anything, and I say, well, I can teach you how to play like "We Will Rock You" on the drums real quick. We'll
There you
do
go.
that. It just has guitar and drums, easy. And then there's this other room where we have like these kind of stations set up like a Guitar Hero like arcade game.
Okay.
It's like there's guitars, a screen that you can learn 4 songs at each station. We kind of help people along with that, but most of the time we have to be in the jam room because we're the jam masters.
Jam Master Josh. That's sick. So, so a lot of it it's people passing through the museum, not off the street, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
when I say off the street, I
But
meant the hallway of the second floor.
Right. So what do you do to kind of welcome people to that? Like, what's like a have you and Mike developed any like people fishing techniques? You know what I mean?
In some ways, I feel like I've gotten better, but sometimes I still just crash and burn. Masks really help.
Right.
When it's a really awkward thing where you call out into the crowd and you don't get the response you want, you can just act like you didn't say anything and start looking at the sky. But I learned a really good one from this old lady we used to work with, Beverly Flowers. She worked at the Rock Hall from the day it opened until during COVID she had to retire. But she had this great thing. She would call people. She'd be like, "Hey, you want to come jam with us?" They'd say, "I'm good." She goes, "I'm sure you all good. I want to come hear it."
Oh,
And it was like,
snap.
ooh, damn, no one knows how to
Yeah.
respond to that. We get a lot of I only play the radio, stuff like that. I love when it's foreign people
Yeah.
that can maybe English is their second language, and it's
Yeah.
like we get the great musical conversation happening.
Does
where-
does it click right away? Like, or is there like a confusion of what do you want from me? Like,
It's very hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, it takes a good 2-3 minute buffer to get everything set up and get them understanding and pick a song and whatnot
Yeah.
and see what they're going to do, get the lyrics set up for them and whatnot.
is it typically people singing? Like, more of the karaoke thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
usually.
Okay. That's a tricky thing to do, to draw people in and make them feel welcomed
Yes.
and like safe to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll come up here and act buffoon with y'all.
It's fun when sometimes we'll assemble bands kind of
Yeah.
from the crowd, like we'll end up hanging with a bass player for a minute, and then eventually next thing you know, it's like all just people from the crowd. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun. Yeah.
There's got to be a handful of people that are like, this is what I needed. There's got to be like that really good bass player who's like,
Yes.
and it's just like, yeah, what do you mean you don't want to play? Come on, random guy, this is welcoming. I'm really good at this. You're not? Like,
And then he's gotten to meet so many like, famous musicians and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
That just roll through the Rock Hall.
That's true.
like who?
I got my
Get
my
more
bi-
on the mic, by the way.
Okay, my biggest thing is I got to jam with Kirk Hammett
What?
and Rob Trujillo. They came through to donate some stuff to
Yeah.
an exhibit that we had going on, and they came through the space. They liked what it was all about, and Rob was just like, "Well, come on, Kirk." Like he's like, "I think we got some musicians here. Like, let's jam." He hopped on the
Sick.
organ. Rob Trujillo hops on organ, gets my buddy to play bass who hasn't heard a lick of Metallica in his whole life, but he got to experience this. It's really fun. There's a guy out there, Benson Anderson.
Yeah.
He got to play with him, but then it was just me and my boss. We're trying to figure out what we should do, and Kirk is just like
Lose it?
he just is like, just play something.
Sick.
And then I like panicked, and I ended up playing some like lame riff in E minor that I got to hear it later.
Yeah.
I realized it basically sounds a lot like the end riff of Fade to Black, and it just is what accidentally came out of my subconscious. I was trying to go like,
Yeah. Instead of nah, it was
yeah, just like very slight. And I was playing through some clean tone on an Explorer for whatever reason, but whatever. You know what? Eventually we're trading licks. It was a crazy experience. Kirk was sweating
yeah.
a lot by the end of it. He was. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
you heard
it
it
was
here,
great.
Kurt.
Is the picture still over there?
Huh?
Can we show Dave the picture?
Yeah, sure. It's behind that guitar clock.
Here in the Grav compounds, we got a. Whoa, we got
Evidence.
wow, that's fucking dope. I'm looking at a picture that looks like a garage, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a really cool shot of you guys behind. I'm gonna guess Mike Ambedimi's keyboard setup
That's
here.
usually where he is.
All
That
right,
night,
yeah.
that's where Rob Trujillo was.
And it's you and Kurt Hammett. Wow, that is a really dope Explorer. Is it yours or is
No,
it?
we have a ton of sweet guitars there at the Rock
Are they
Hall.
set up good?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, we have a
That
guy
wasn't a
that sets them
company,
up.
yeah, but that was a yeah.
Oh, well, back then we didn't have them all set up yet.
Okay. Damn, that's so cool. I'm trying to see if I can see the sweat. I see more dust.
Yeah, it's a dusty old picture over there.
He looks so cool.
Yeah, he's the shit.
Like he just looks really cool. He's
and he
wearing
picked
a
up.
really
And
cool
I was really
jacket.
proud. My boss gave me props. She asked me to put out on display
That's
our
badass.
coolest guitars, and I put out that black, sparkly 335.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He,
Looks
it
like a
was
Lucille.
the fact that he picked it up and had it on him while he was walking around doing the interview.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that led to it being more likely for the jam to happen.
That's
But-
so sick. And was he cool? Was he like, hey, nice chops? What
he
was
was
like?
he was the shit. He was
Yeah?
awesome. It was just like when I'm running him through his pedals and stuff. It was an Earthquaker Devices board
Yeah.
that they sponsored us and gave us. And at one point he's clicking them on and stuff, and I'm like, and this is the this and this
Yeah.
is the this, and that's the Rainbow Machine. It kind of is hard to explain if you know about that pedal. He
The
clicks
Rainbow
it on.
Machine's
He click yeah. He
wacky.
clicks on, and it was set at the most crazy settings it could be at, and it starts going so loud. He just looks at me like, all right, I'm just going to not use this one. He wasn't pissed off at all. And then it was great. The way we ended the jam, just a big old E minor. I put
Yeah.
it on for my Rainbow Machine for a second, like, and he looks at me, he goes, so that's what you use it for. And I played with Kirk longer than I talked with Kirk. Those are the few words we exchanged, basically.
Well, you probably talked with him more than most people by playing with him.
Yeah, man.
Well, no, like, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, you really get to kind of like, as a guitar player to a guitar player, like study the chops and not see the show, but see the player in that type of setting.
Righto.
You know what I mean?
We got to. I never heard Kirk just full on jam like that before. That
Metallica
was
don't
great.
jam.
Yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
don't jam enough. Yes, Steve Hackett was awesome too.
Yeah,
But
who else was
enough-
there? Okay, no, this is pretty sweet. This
That
so
night,
who else
that
did you
night,
jam with?
I only jammed with them, and then
Kurt, yeah.
the other celebrity I jammed with is the Cash Cab guy.
The Cash Cab
Yeah,
guy?
yeah. He has
Did he
some,
like
he had
ask
some,
you questions?
He had some good originals. No, I told
Yeah?
him that. He was a huge inspiration to me. And if I'm gonna be honest, even though I do love Metallica, and I listen to a lot of Metallica,
Yeah.
I feel like collectively I've probably spent more hours of my life watching Cash Cab than hours I have listening to Metallica. Just being honest, honestly, it was just on all the time.
What's his name? Isn't he British, right? That guy? No,
He's not. He looks like he should be.
different guy.
I don't remember his name. I feel bad, but
It's okay.
that was fantastic.
That's awesome. Like, well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? You do spend, even though it's like a formulaic half-hour show, right? There's like maybe 17 seasons, some odd number of like 23 episodes. It's way more hours than there are albums. But it's a quality thing. You know what I mean? Like, Master of Puppets is probably going to be better than season 4 of Cash Cab.
Has more re-listenability than rewatching Cash.
Exactly. Damn, that's a cool gig. Now, let's kind of go around the room. What else do we got gig-wise? Like, outside of music.
D. Smith has big things coming up soon.
Yeah? Steve, what do you got?
Yeah. I'm playing with JP Ham at the House of Blues, opening for the String Dusters.
Hell yeah.
The infamous String
And
Dusters.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how
What
it
is
goes.
What's JP's gig?
He's a bluegrasser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you also play bass and banjo.
Yeah, I'll be playing banjo with
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. So
Banjo.
yeah, it'll be fun.
That's
His-
awesome.
his group-
I know it's cool because I did the rock off in high school
Yeah.
there.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Is it gonna be labeled JP and the Chatfield Boys?
I don't know. I have no idea.
When is it?
October 22nd,
Nice.
21st. It's when the Broncos are in town. Browns play the Broncos.
Okay. Nice.
Steve Smith opening for the infamous String Dusters.
Fuck yeah.
One of our favorites.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
What is it? So to kind of dive into like musically, how'd you guys all meet?
I've known
Right.
him since like kindergarten.
So you known Josh,
Josh
okay?
Sinclair.
Since
Yeah.
and like, was there like interest in high school? Were you always like playing somehow since kindergarten?
When did you start playing guitar? Like,
Well, Clay always played, and
Yeah.
when we started really kind of hanging out, we started really hanging out actually in 7th grade and stuff. And I got to witness, him fuck around with our dude Noah Reed, if you know him. No, but and I just
Guitar
felt
guy?
Yeah, I just
Okay,
felt
yeah,
really
yeah, I do.
I just felt really useless, but also I was like, that's so cool. And Clay started learning guitar, so I felt like we both started kind of learning guitar at the same time.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, me and Clay can like learn guitar together. Even though he's a great drummer, like we'll kind of be on this even playing field, and we like we're growing together,
Okay.
getting better and stuff, learning cool.
And this was
songs
North
and
Olmsted
whatnot.
or North Ridgeville, right?
This was
Avon
Avon Lake.
Avon Lake.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
and these two are from North
Ridgeville. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. So you guys are working on guitar. What's some of like the things you're learning? Like when does
Jesus.
Grateful Dead become like this kind of
I got into the
Gravas
Dead.
obsession?
Soon after.
I got into the Dead a little bit later.
Okay.
Actually, when I was like probably 16 or so. But yeah, I don't know. I was learning I was really into the Velvet Underground. back
Okay.
then. And those songs are like really easy. and,
Right,
like,
right.
Good for like beginner guitarists.
Like Here Comes Your Man's like what?
Yeah.
2 chords.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's just some
Exactly.
good old like New York heroin music.
Right.
It's
Well,
ridiculous.
That song Heroin always tripped me out. I was like,
Oh, it's so
whoa.
eerie.
It's so eerie, and it gets so like you like it speeds up and like
Yeah.
you.
It's
ride
just
that
D and
whole-
it's
yeah.
just D and G.
But dynamically, what's so interesting about it is like it's like the not that I personally know what a heroin rush is like, but
Yeah.
you're like wow.
That's
you know?
what they say about that song.
Right.
There's nothing like that song.
Yeah, and just like the scene of that, like Andy Warhol and
Right.
stuff, like they were all hanging out. And
That
it's crazy.
early punk scene. So was that some? Okay, so Velvet Underground.
I was big into them, and then I got hip to the Dead. I mean, I met these guys when I was about 16. I was like a sophomore in high school, and then we were in a band called Free Hat.
free.
Free Hat.
Was there free hats at the shows?
No, that
Was free. Oh, okay. That's a solid bit.
Thank you.
A solid bit.
It was from South Park.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like when Hat went to jail, and they were all like, "Free Hat."
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah,
dope.
and then we started Grav, and then he came in as like
Right.
the second guitarist.
Okay.
And it was
So you
cool.
three, you, Josh,
Mhm.
other Josh. For everyone listening, no one knows who I'm
Where
talking about.
everyone is.
Josh
Yeah,
Bailey.
sorry.
Mhm.
I should be describing. And Steve, you guys were already. You were free hat.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you were just hanging by yourself. And while that was happening, were you like shedding on stuff? Was like,
He was training to be our keys player.
were you really?
I was gonna try to take up the keyboards. Yes, there was a gentleman, Zach Taylor,
Okay.
great guitarist, greater guy from Bay Village.
Yeah?
and he was playing second guitar and free hat. So
Okay.
I was gonna try to learn keys to
Yeah.
work my way in because I also I have the Grateful Dead in my DNA.
Yeah.
So to speak. Always it's always my parents' favorite stuff. So I always had it in my life. So I wanted to get in. So I was gonna try to do that. I wouldn't have been very good though. That's for sure.
With keys?
No.
It's such a mind fuck, like compared to like guitar. So everyone pretty much here plays guitar in the room, right? At least somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And keys? Anyone? Leah, I know you do a little bit for school. Like we have to, but
I know the chords, but like I'm not like crazy good.
right. It's such a mind fuck though,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not like
You keep in rhythm.
yeah.
You
It's
know,
just looked at differently.
Yeah.
It's a
And-
lot to, I don't know, like
Yeah.
process while you're doing it. Where guitar is a little bit easier. But I guess if you practice a lot, then
Right.
a pianist would say the same thing.
I
For
also
sure.
can't read music to save my life, and I feel like if
Yeah.
you want to be a great pianist, you have to like
Yeah.
really have good reading chops. you
For
know?
sure.
It's crazy stuff.
It's
You can read rhythms, but you know.
yeah, yeah. It's weird. Like it's laid out differently. Like Leah said, Leah. But like with chords, they're blocked in, right? And you just kind of remember the shape. But same with piano. But you got to think about like these like inversions and shit.
The way they build their chords, I can never wrap my.
Right.
That's why I can't. It's the big. It's like you can have an octave in the bass. Under what context would you have it be like something different? Like,
Right, right.
Fifths in the bass for.
It's way too many options if you're just starting. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I need to know Smoke on the Water and what frets to put it on. That's
basically
it.
right.
The start, my rockin'. I don't need fifths and arpeggiated basses or what do they call that? Alberti bass or whatever. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Alternating bass.
Well, it's not. It's called like Alberti or L something. It's like where you
Oh.
play like the root, fifth, third, fifth.
Ooh.
I
Damn.
don't know, but
And, like-
it's a mind fuck and it doesn't make
Yes,
sense. So
right.
so that didn't last too long. All that being said for that, but like, did it help guitar wise a little bit? Because I noticed within your playing now, Josh, you guys like will do like these like inversions going up, or where maybe you will play like a chorded thing, you will play like an inverted thing going up. And I know that's kind of the jam thing, right? You do harmonies going up, and like, but did that kind of make that knowledge later make sense?
I wouldn't say I got to dive into piano hardcore enough for it to do that, but
Yeah.
it did get me thinking about trying to, I did like something I have done is trying to just like look up piano lessons on like
YouTube?
modal jams and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then just straight up just like being like I'm gonna actually do it and just actually translate it bit for bit into guitar and see how that works out. But that's mostly just like watching each other and
Yeah.
I mean,
trying
like,
to,
at first we were just really like conscious about like one of us being down on the lower frets and one of us being up,
Right.
and just covering the whole range.
Okay.
And then like later on we were like, we don't really have to be doing this all the time. Like it
Mm-hmm.
could be even cooler and fuller if we're just like playing the same part.
and
But at
it's-
first we were always just like picking it out and like making sure that like if I was playing a low F that he's playing
Hot.
all
Okay.
higher note F chord.
When did this type of like on-site composing like become a thing? So you guys eventually, Josh, you join Free Hat. Free Hat. How long does it stay Free Hat?
Well,
it
Jinx.
was not free. Yeah,
It was not free
as
for long.
Soon, we went up.
it was expensive.
We didn't have a Free Hat disbanded. We didn't have a name, and we went to Bullfrogs jam night, the four of us, because
Yeah.
we'd been practicing and we didn't have a name.
It was the one you were at, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
where our
This
paths
is
cross.
Yeah.
this is where it
Yeah.
all comes down. That fateful night.
So for listeners, rattled the tale of how I was a complete jerk and was like, "Fuck these guys."
No, it was the most touching moment of my musical career.
Shit, it was from the
was-
start. That means everything
Right.
else is no. You jam with Kurt Hammett.
No, it was no.
We already know that's a lie.
Kirk Hammett compared to Dave Z, man. He
Oh, shucks.
it's our first time playing as this unit. You know,
Yeah.
we've been practicing for months until we deemed ready, and it was like Christmas Eve.
Okay.
I want to say
It was the Mike
Christmas
Starcher
Eve.
Christmas Eve jam.
Gotcha.
those jams were
And-
classic.
Yeah, I came home with a capo.
Yeah, you
Oh
did.
yeah,
win a
that's right.
capo.
They would raffle off prizes and shit.
Yup.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you guys are going there. I was playing there that night. That was the first one. So like at that point, you guys, that's when Free Hat becomes no more, right?
because
We joked, could be obviously not having a name. We joked about naming it after a gravity bong. Grav.
Oh.
Because that's what we've always called it, doing a grav, take a grav.
at that point,
Uh,
for some reason, we were all doing lots of gravs.
Yeah, and I didn't think you had to have a name to like play in a jam night. I guess none of us thought of it, you know.
Right.
It was just an underlying joke that we were gonna do it. And Mike's like, all right, yeah, you guys can play. Like, so what's your band called? And we're like, I said, it was Grav. You know.
I will say, you said it way more confident than you just said it there. See, was just like, Grav.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
It was great.
Like wings
He
were
was like he
already
knew.
ordered. Like you
Yeah,
were
we-
feeling good.
No, I think it was right when we walked in because we've never done that before.
Yeah.
We like learned like, oh, you have to sign up.
Everything
Put your
about the
names
decision
down,
to
so,
not
yeah.
have it be just Grav.
And then I remember just waiting all night. You know, it was one of those nights. It was
Yeah.
like, and then you were up there and you're like, I'm gonna cut it short because I want to hear these guys. You know, so that was awesome.
So I did,
was really
when
cool.
you told me that, and I appreciate that, and like I don't remember doing that.
He was just, the standard issue is 3 songs. You did your first song, and you're just like, I'm gonna hurry up and just do one more, because like, I think you just like, I see these young guys in the crowd.
Yeah, well, I
wanna
remember
go.
Josh with the SG, and I remember that resonated with me because that was my first guitar. I was like, oh,
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
So I remember that, but I don't remember being that cool. So I'm glad I was that cool.
I can't wait for the day I can be that cool. And I I'm just like, these kids are young, and they're at jam night. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
It's really, I think it's great to go to them. Like I think we learned a lot.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, we didn't really have a lot of shows, so we were preparing these songs to play at jam night. You
Right.
know, but we were tearing the roof off sometimes. You know, it was
Oh,
fun.
yeah. We go up there and
And
do our jam thing.
Another good thing is you got to see some people that weren't very good, you know, and
Yeah.
you got to learn like how not to be, kind of too. That's,
Right.
Absolutely.
We saw a lot of funny stuff
some
at that
bad-
Bullfrogs jam
Some
night, the
bad
Sly
jam night
Fox,
drummers.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
that.
bad jam night, everything.
It is like, well, I'm happy to hear you say that because, like, I was thinking about when you hit me up to do this, like, last week or whatever. I was thinking about this story, and when we got to this point, I was gonna say you guys gotta tell it because I can't tell it because that sounds weird. If hey, remember that time I was super cool to you guys? Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember that shit, but like how important that is to kind of like have that moment and think about the bands or musicians or artists in whatever field you are that are coming up where you're at, because if we think about where Mike Starcher, who ran the Bullfrogs, Mike Knight, who you'd bring people up like George Hartwig, like E-Rock from Wish You Were Here, and he played bass for Michael Stanley. Which
Right.
I like. He's got some crazy stories. Like he like drove John Paul Jones to the airport and
And he
shit.
got that
signed,
signed
his
bass.
Olympic bass.
Yeah, that shit's so cool.
Can't even
Um,
believe it.
But and I think he had a Les Claypool either. Like all these guys are seeing where we came from. Maybe like Leah and I are closer to the same age, so we can say like our class of bands, right? And you guys would be like maybe the class before or after, right? So like I don't know. It's important to like see that and appreciate that and encourage that, because like so much of like fields like this, and you kind of put down what's put out in a way. Like I've talked to quite a few friends who do art, and like when they go through like art school or whatever, they look at what they do and they kind of have to like analyze how it's fucked up and like why it's not good, as opposed to seeing what's good about it. So a lot of my friends that went to school for like art, fill in the blank, they're always kind of like, what I do is really bad, because you train yourself in a way to be like, shit, I can fix that, you know what I mean? But it's okay to be like that, but also encourage it. So to do that with other people at that point, whoa, it's way easier to shoot down other people, you know what I mean? Like, because it's not you. So like I think the hear you say that makes me super happy is all I'm trying to say, because like we should be excited to encourage the next homies, and like the next group up should be way better than, because you guys are fucking really good. Like as a band, like listening to the record, getting ready to talk to you guys today, and just from the gigs we've done together, like you guys are a really fucking good band. And like
Thank you.
to hear like that, so to be excited, the next thing is going to be even better, you know what I mean? Whatever nerd you guys like, what up dork, figure it out, they're gonna be like super sick coming up, and like, you know what I mean? Like, so that makes me really happy to hear you say that.
Hell yeah.
But that being said, let's take it to the... Okay, so Josh is in the band, right? When does this, like, kind of, like, expansiveness of, like, being able to play off each other happen with everybody? Because, like, what's cool about a jam band is that fact. It's, like, it's this core unit that knows each other so well. They know... You guys all kind of know your musical intent to some degree. You know, like, oh, when Josh goes, I'm going to go zip-zop. And, like, when he goes zip-zop, I'm going to be flap-a-flap and slap-de-pop. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these pops, like, there's all these bits you know what you're going to do, because you know each other. You know your intent, like, out of music and within music. So, like, when did that... Because now it's, like, this well-oiled machine. Like, when we did that gig at the Front Street Social, like, a couple months back, just hearing... I'm a guitar guy, so I'm listening to the guitar more often. Just hearing you, Josh and Josh, play off each other. Like, I know I got to... Remember, this is an audio thing. I can't just point. Josh and Josh play off each other, and like, and just where it goes. Like, but that isn't something that just happens. It's a relationship that's developed. So like, when did like, is this something you guys wanted to do from the rip? Is this something you were inspired by other bands, or is this something that naturally developed? I think is the question I want to put out.
I think we just wanted to do it, and we did.
Yeah, from the start, we always wanted to, like, you know, improvise a lot, like, listen to each other.
Yeah.
The way, yeah, if you want to get the way that we do it, it definitely wasn't obvious at first. I would say it definitely took time, and it's crazy because there is no like way to teach how to jam. There's no way to learn, and even like there's even no way to learn like how two guitars should interact, because every band does it different, and that's like what like is the thing about it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's like a very unique like thing, just because we've like learned so many songs together and like came up with so many songs together that like, you know, we'll be in the car listening to something on the way to the show, and then like we'll be talking about it, and then we're up there and like I'll be like,
Hell yeah.
and like it'll be the song from the radio earlier, and he'll be like, oh yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, it's very tongue in cheek a lot of times.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's crazy because, I don't know, I would try, at first it was a lot of just moving triads up and down, kind of aimlessly, and, you know, like not being like very smart about like movements and stuff like that, and I like would really tried to study like Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, and how he kind of
What out of those
creates other-
studies, what's like the trend you've noticed out of Bob Weir's like triadal movements?
He's hard to nail because it's just in the middle of what like something that sounds normal, he'll throw in just like some really weird single note lick and stuff like
Okay.
that. A lot of it though is just like just getting the chords of the modes down, and bringing them down to like dyads, just 2-note things, 3-note things, and moving those around. And what the thing is that I didn't like ever try to learn, but eventually I think impacted the most is like the way places he inserts his little stabs. Those
Okay.
are where it's the most, I think, piano based. It's like
Okay.
he's very like, I don't know, very off kilter with the way he'll put in stuff like that, and a lot of following the snare drum.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah.
cool. It's fun, and but it's for as much as I try studying that or anything, I always at the end of it we always end up doing like something completely different, kind of, and
Yeah, it's big. Like we take risks on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we don't necessarily have like a formula for each jam we do. We kind of see where it goes.
Okay.
And a lot of times the best moments, for me at least, haven't happened before. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's sitting out there waiting to like be played or something.
Right.
Like,
Right. Well.
Comes to you.
Well,
Weird.
just to kind of relate it to like what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
like I typically with this, I do a lot of research for who I'm talking to, but that's not usually what you talk about. You know what I mean? You want to know the background of the person. Luckily, I know you guys.
Right.
And like, but the moment is right now. Like, are we having a bad conversation? Well, it started off with 9/11. So I don't, but it's not bad, right? We're in the moment doing it. So that's interesting that like the best thing that's going to happen is going to happen. But I find that interesting too, that like it's the study, I think more of that is for that thing, right? You just kind of like see how all the shit works. And when you go to use it, usually never gets a chance to be there, but that doesn't go without saying. So if we brought up the topic 9/11, you guys can jump in on that conversation. And if the metaphorical music version of that happened in a jam, you're like, dyads, yeah, like, or whatever. Like, I don't know what that would be, hopefully.
well, it's stuff like trying to figure out like on my own, like it's like, oh, I bet this could be a really smooth way to use this one little thing. If it kind of can transition to this key, that'd be really smooth. And then trying
Right,
it and
okay.
finding out it actually didn't work very smooth at all. That's like how that would
Yeah,
be.
gotcha.
But
But
at least you
it's-
took the risk.
Yeah.
Right, and
know what
it's
I mean?
seeing how that goes into that movement for later. Okay, so now that like you're thinking and approaching like this, because your guys' song repertoire is fucking ridiculous. Like as a full band, to be like, yo, how many just on the record for as
We
of
have a list.
September 3rd, 4th, maybe, I don't know whatever today is. We're 2021. The cover set list is how many songs?
Well,
Josh Bailey.
We're adding
Hold
two.
on, hold
We're doing two new ones on 9/11.
Today is September 5th.
September 5th. This was yesterday. Those two don't count. I'm talking about yesterday. No, add those two in there.
We're currently at 395 songs played.
Which is bonkers, because some of them are like long, like and like I remember when we did the gravel, the sea level grav crossover, which we got to do again, and I really want to make that a fucking fest. We got to do a fest like that.
Yeah.
Like
Go to Bulk and
We were-
Bushel, get a bunch of gravel.
yeah, well that'll be the bit.
Like, it's so uncomfortable walking around here. We'd be like,
Yeah, and then get in.
Tell everyone to bring their shoes.
No shoes. You get no shoes.
it's like you come up to the stage, you're staying there for a while.
Right, and you stand
What do you do?
in the
Walk
gravel.
away? Good luck.
Good luck. But I'm serious. We gotta do. I think we could do a real deal cool fest, especially with Fest Master Marra, in our presence.
Festmaster.
Wow,
Yeah, that's.
that's a new name.
Well, I mean, you throw more festivals than anyone. Like, and all the stuff you do, we've gone to this before, is all homebrewed and
All
badass.
homebrewed. Yeah, I can help with the gravel.
So, like, and the Dreamcatchers will have to play it. So now we got the 3 headliners. Let's find everyone else.
If there is a drink.
It would foreshadowing. welcome to the Nightmare Catchers. I walked in, you guys were listening to metal, so I'm assuming that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Like, but
We listen to metal.
but that's so. Is that kind of how was that the common ground you guys started covering? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So when did it out of like when you got to like what 250? When did you start like doing original stuff? Like at what point did the covers take back seat?
We had a couple originals in Free Hat.
Okay. Were
Yeah,
they?
we did.
We did.
Did they become Grav songs?
No.
Okay.
They did for a second. But
Yeah.
Ooh.
But
But anyway,
shelved.
so after what was the first like? Give me like if you can remember the first 2 or 3 covers as a congealing like let's hang out and jam. You know what I mean? Like this
US
is gonna
Blues.
work. Okay.
China Cat Sunflower.
Sunflower.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's solid.
Almost cut my hair.
Almost.
Yeah.
And after that, you're like kind of got the sense that we all like the same shit. This is gonna
Yeah.
work.
I
When
hope
did the original stuff start rolling in?
We've always been working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Well,
so
the-
much trial and error.
What's a
Yes.
typical like rehearsal like? Is it like we'll get together? Because Sea Level typically what we'll do is if we're not rushing, we'll start fucking around, and me and Cody will get here early. He'll be like eating, and then we'll start to figure something stupid out. Like last practice, we were trying to figure out the theme song to Bluey, that kid show with the Australian dog. No,
I don't know.
It's-
Blue's Clues.
not Blue's Clues, Bluey. He's like, oi, yeah, it's a dog, talks like this, but now it's aggressive. It's all the rave and babies because Cody's got a baby, so
Yeah.
like he's like, do Freya every time. I can't do a good Cody impression, but he's like, Freya loves this this song, and like, so we're sitting there trying to figure out. Pat comes up and he's like, oh, that's cool, and then we jam on this stupid thing, and it becomes like a bit, like a kind of warm up thing, or we'll just jump into it like, oh shit, we gotta do this. Let's run the set. Like, typically for you guys, is that like a thing like that? Is there like a welcoming, like let's work on a thing? Do you with original stuff? Does someone bring it to the front, or like?
When it
That's
comes,
what sorry.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say when we have gigs coming up, it tends to the first order of business is usually to make a set list for that gig that like will be unique from the last couple gigs that we've done. Thinking about what, and then that just kind of determines what we need to practice. But when we have time, or a lot like some songs did happen like that. Like the main riff of the song Grav was just from a lick that he played.
Yeah.
And it was just like keep playing that.
Okay.
For like a long time.
That's an
And it's just,
interesting
like,
song,
I love that
especially
stuff.
recorded wise. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
That
Which
was-
is I think it's awesome that there's Grav by Grav off Grav. Like,
yes.
every good band has to have the triple self-titled.
Black Sabbath walked so Grav could run. Badass, but-
Hell yeah. But like, so is that is it kind of just someone plays a bit and you hone in on it? You're like, that's the thing, or
Some of them happen that way. Most of the time it's
They're all different.
prepared. Yeah.
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 Sometimes he'll have like a song like kind of worked out like
Okay.
with the chords, and then I'll like write lyrics over it.
Okay.
And try to get a melody. Sometimes he'll do that too.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, when we're not preparing, because we do a lot of like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. bar gigs.
Yeah.
So that definitely contributes to our close to 400
Right,
song
right.
count, because you're playing like a long time. You know what
And
I
you
mean?
need to fill it, and you
Yeah.
can't do the original shit with that type of gig. You got to do the what the people in the
Yeah.
Slyfox want to hear. You know, you got to do like
And it's nice being able to break that rule
yeah,
now, like just to like remind everyone, like, yeah, we do a lot of covers, but like we're
Yeah.
also have our own
We're
sound.
getting to that point where we have enough songs and enough keys.
Yeah.
And we can kind of
Yeah.
work our way into them and sneak them in there a lot more often.
And sometimes like covers can be nice because it, like, let's say someone's seeing us that's like unfamiliar with us.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost like kind of like a life preserver.
Right,
For
right.
someone who like doesn't know, and then maybe they'll get more hip into like our original stuff. You know what I mean?
And our way of meeting in the middle is deep cuts.
deep
That's right.
cuts.
Deep cuts is the way to
Yeah.
Not a lot
that,
of
that
top
we found
50
to
stuff.
like
Well, that's what
people in with
I remember going through that list and be like, oh shit, like the Tenacious D stuff stuck out to me and Cody. We gotta do some fucking D with Grav. That'd be
Oh, yeah.
sick.
Explosivo.
Yeah, explosivo. I don't know. Like, but that's I don't know. I feel like that's to do those type of gigs. Usually, the original band doesn't take that on. like the Dreamcatchers, you guys do a handful of covers, but kind of going back to Gibbs, 90% of that, was it with the band or was it like how'd that go?
Well, so
Well,
We did a jam.
yeah, the boys did a jam. It was kind of
wait, was it kind of Grav?
It was literally
Catchers?
Grav except Clay. Sorry, Clay.
We have Lee
And then-
instead of Clay.
Lee
I was
pretty
on
good.
Mando.
Yeah, and Missy was with us too. So one dream catcher, well, two dream catchers now. But anyway, so we did like I had both the albums on the set
Yeah.
list, and then we were doing some covers here and there. And
Okay.
there was this one lady with her ears covered.
Oh, really?
During the jam?
No, during all of us playing. Like,
Was it the lady in the yellow?
yes.
Oh.
That
And
lady
so-
in yellow.
I was like, oh man, everyone hates this because it's the original music. We should be
Yeah.
doing more covers. And then I was like, boys, take a break. And then Missy and I like just did these covers, and then they
And
came in
was
with
she
a
like-
jam. Well, anytime Missy sang, actually, I saw it. She would cover her ear because I think she was. I think
Yeah.
it was loud. I don't think.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a song. Because no one goes into a bar. It's like, oh my god, put something I enjoy on. Like that's stupid. It has to be a Sonic thing. Like,
Yeah.
but I guess the point I was trying to bring up was with that type of gig as an original band, you typically can't handle that. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can, or you're gonna lose the crowd. You can do your thing but get no reaction and be like, yeah, I did the fucking 4-hour gig. I did all my shit. But what you guys do, what's cool is you cater to that, and you can vice versa, which makes that OG set like cool every night. You can be like, oh, let's pull that cover out. Let's pull that cover out. So what led up to when did you guys get enough to do the first record? Like when did the OG songs pile up enough to that became a possibility?
Winter 2019.
Winter
Yeah,
2019.
It
All right.
took
Wait.
years.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Heh,
Like yeah.
It was 2018.
No.
Well, when
It
it
was like-
came
it was like
out
Janu-
compared to when it was recorded.
Oh, when we started recording it in late 2018.
Yeah, didn't it come out January?
Oh.
Do you want me to like double
Yeah.
check? I'll go
No,
on
no,
Spotify
you
and get
got-
the
yeah,
official.
Yeah, you're right.
Alright. But so when did that?
2018? No, it came out in 2019. In like
January.
February, I thought, right? Or January.
Our memory's bad. Our band's named after
No,
Grav
you
Info.
guys applied to play Love Fest in 2019, and you had stuff out before.
Okay.
2018 was the year
January.
before COVID.
Yeah,
February
yeah, I know, but,
17th,
like,
2019 was when it was put on Spotify.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. So early 2019.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay.
So when did the availability of material become present so that you can go record record one?
I feel like we had this kind of rule where we weren't gonna do it when we just had enough, but when we had more than enough.
Okay.
So we could. It wasn't
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
these are the amount of songs we have. We wanted to pick like these are the ones that we like are really think are worth it, and like these are the ones that didn't work as well when we played them live and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that was kind of a way that we decided it, pretty much.
And where was that all tracked? How'd that look?
Same place as we recorded Hubbub, just it was just what we were just all through no fault of our own, way more uptight, for lack of a better term. It was just like a lot less comfortable than this last one for
Okay.
whatever
It was
reason.
the first time in the studio, it's just
Right.
like a different vibe.
And to kind of go off what you said earlier, living for the moment type of thing, it's like it's hard to get in that mindset with the blinking red light. It's like you have to relive this forever.
Yeah, keep it
This is
together,
what
man,
everyone's going to judge you on. Shit. But okay. So was it? How long did it take to get the whole thing through? Was it painstaking? Like
Recording it or
No.
recording it? Like yeah.
We recorded it fairly quick.
yeah,
Okay.
I'd say like
Yeah.
3-4 days, maybe 5 tops.
Yeah.
5 days tops.
We were
Okay.
gigging a lot, so it's like
It was all fresh.
yeah, and we tracked it all live and stuff, and just came back in with the vocals.
Okay.
Yeah, no metronome.
The thing
No?
about
Oh,
the
okay.
Grav song
Yeah.
is that it didn't exist,
Right.
and we were already like recording the album, and we just like we wrote it specifically for the album because we wanted it to be Grav.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grav.
and we like sketched it out before we even knew how it was gonna sound, and we were like, it needs to have these parts, and they need to represent these things.
Well, get into that. What does it represent? Because like I listened to that,
Well,
I'm like, what? And like it's so dope, but I don't know what I'm going.
It's
the
kind of
beginning is real tasky,
Okay.
as you said.
Well,
It's like,
the song's a simulation
Okay.
of like taking a grab.
yeah,
Preparing the grab.
It goes
taking
back
the
to
grab,
our
what happens.
heroin thing.
yeah, it's like that.
it's a baby concept of what hubbub ended up being.
Yeah,
which is like
true.
A different type of grab experience. We'll get into that.
Okay, pin it.
But yeah, in
Yeah.
the beginning, you know, it's like the grind, the packing, whatever. And
Okay.
then there's, you know, obviously the light, and then
Right.
there's the classic Clay cough.
Okay.
The cough
okay.
in the song, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
you're vroom, you're grabbing.
Your grab. Okay. All
And then
right.
the space out, you know, you're not feeling so hot. You're like, ooh, like that's hitting too hard.
You're grabbed out, as they say.
And then it reprises back to the intro because you're doing another one.
Yeah. Next thing you know.
You're
Well,
repeat.
okay. Conceptually, that's a perfect way to cap the record, right? Because you want the next one to be listened to.
Yeah.
And like, as far as a jam band, going back to the idea of like a band that isn't a jam band, like the Velvet Underground, which not the like at least jam band in the sense of like Grateful Dead, in the sense of
yeah, I
like
Yeah.
can say that.
they're more experimental, but like than jam. Like so that kind of ties back to what influenced you. I don't know. That's really interesting. So what did Jay Willis have to do with the Fat Cigars then?
Jay, that was the first song we ever wrote.
First song
Is
we
it?
ever wrote.
All right.
We were listening to Some Girls a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we listened to lots of some, Faraway
Rolling
Eyes.
Stones. Yeah.
Faraway Eyes was impacting me deeply. Also, earlier that day, I had listened to Del McCurry and David Grisman doing the Tennessee Waltz.
Okay.
So that was fresh in my head. It had the same kind of first couple chords. We were just like, we're gonna actually write a fucking song. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
sit down and do it. It was stressful, but then so I was not playing. They were just playing, and he was like gonna play like a bluegrass progression in C slow, and I was gonna kind of make up a melody, and the chords would go along with it. So it was kind
Yeah.
of like live. We wrote it live, and I just started singing about Jay Willis, this guy who I had just met.
Right.
I just had met him a couple days previously, and I walked into the garage, and the first way I met him was he was sitting there smoking a huge cigar, and he was coughing every time he put that thing in his mouth, but he kept going back, and it was a sweaty occasion, and it was just hilarious.
You know Jay Willis.
I know
right?
Jay Willis,
Yeah.
which is why I'm like, wait, what?
It was great. That was my first impression of him, and then there it was.
Was it? That's a cool line. You know what I mean? Like, because Jay Willis, like, out of the context of knowing Jay Willis and knowing him as a bass player, do you guys know him as a bass player, or you guys probably went to?
We did.
We went to school with him, yeah.
Josh and Steve, you guys probably went to. Yeah, he was a Ridgeville. So did Cody. So you guys knew him not just as a bass player, but as a person.
Yeah, I've played
Okay.
D&D with him.
Yeah.
You and him are like the only people I've played with ever.
Well, he probably did it a lot more seriously than I did.
They were both good.
Well, mine was a bit at a festival that was done virtually that Leah 100% approved of.
Jay Willis? Yeah.
No, it was, the D.
Oh, the Dungeons and Dragons.
You said that.
The Jay Willis.
The Jay
I met
Willis.
Jay Willis.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
sat at a show together.
Right.
All right, funny story.
Wait, yeah, let's get Jay stories right now.
First time we played at Nelson Ledges.
Yeah.
We're playing Jesus and Jay Willis.
Yeah.
We're looking out in the audience. Jay Willis is walking up.
Yeah.
Like on one side.
On the water, just like
Oh,
with
yeah.
cigars.
And then there's a guy in a Jesus costume because you
Whoa.
know Nelson Ledges.
Yeah.
And then like someone told them, like,
I think
Justin, our manager or
Justin
something.
made them end up talking to
Yeah,
each
so
other.
then we're like playing it. There's Jay Willis. There's a guy in a Jesus costume, Nelson
Yeah.
Ledges, and we're like, it's happening.
Jay Willis got him a drink, right? I think
Yeah.
they shared a drink together.
Yeah.
It was fantastic moment.
When did you guys play? Was this after this record that you did the Nelsons gig?
I think
In
so.
the war.
Really?
Yeah, I remember we played
Was it a
Dead
fest?
Man Walking the first time. there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
which
Yeah?
is one of the songs.
The
Yeah, the songs were
debut.
different.
Mhm.
I think that's when we first changed.
Jesus and Jay Willis had a
Thundercrack too,
different
right?
part, right?
And it was the first time that we did that different arrangement of what's the song?
Original.
Yeah, on Grav 1.
Get a grip.
Canned Heat?
Yes, Get a Grip. When we played, because we used to do Get a Grip way different.
Yeah.
Mad different.
Was
We
it-
played Canned Heat there too, though.
We
yeah.
played Canned Heat, the song Napoleon dances to.
Let your
At the
mouth
end.
fly.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, it was like, because playing the, I don't know, Nelson's is really cool if you can get in on the thing. And like, was that like, or did you have a good spot? Because Sea Level, the
It's a big
first one
set.
we played, okay, yeah, we did the same thing. Like, we played on the beach and everyone was like, don't care. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
It was
we
like
didn't have-
100 degrees.
That was when it
Yeah.
was, 100, good old 100 degrees out.
1 p.m. slot.
It's hard to get in there though. I think
It
I
is.
think there's new owners now and everything.
Yeah,
and,
it's-
like, it's kind of.
but if we go there with Gravel Fest,
Yes.
Grav
exactly.
level,
Let's make it happen.
we're going to fill the beach with rocks.
Oh yeah.
And they'll be totally into it. And like, yeah, it's comfortable right now, but wait till we're done. And like,
You could fill it with those painted rocks.
there we go. Now
and
it's an
with
art project.
inspirational quotes.
Right. It can be like the hopes of children, and we can just walk all over them. And
Yeah.
They'll love it.
but craziest, have you guys attended Nelson's previously just as like a, craziest Nelson's experience go? Because mine was Soberfest.
Ooh.
I ran a mic night at this not a bar in Rocky River, and it was not a bar. It was a sober bar that people would go into. It was horribly named because people would go and be like, I have a bud. And they're like, it's not a bar. Why are you cleaning glasses like it's a bar? What? People would leave so pissed, and it was just a complete weird fest. You know what I mean? Like, weird mic night, weird everything about it. But like the guy there was hosting Soberfest at Nelson's Ledges or something, and like he was like, "Will you play guitar for my set?" And I was like, "All right." And like he did the most unsober things ever. He like got off stage and caught a door on fire by the beach and did all this crazy shit. I'm like, I've played non-sober shows here that were less hectic. What's going on? So that's my crazy Nelson memory. Do you guys got any solid bits?
I kind of have one. I don't remember if it was when we were playing there or when we just went
Yeah.
that one time, but we all had a lot to drink. And I remember it was really dark, and me and Josh and like another one of our friends were walking to the bathroom or something, and there's like a group of dudes in front of us who are also really drunk, and Josh is like, "Who are you?" And and this guy's like, "Who the fuck are you, bro?" And like pushed him, and but like his friends got him. We was like, "No, this ain't happening." We went our separate ways. So that was hilarious.
Damn, solid. When did to do a complete spin? So within this record, there's a lot of like country influence, and not just like country as in like America fist punch country. They go back to the beginning, but like roots country and the bluegrass thing. Which you guys had a bluegrass band. I don't know if it's around anymore. The Golden Cap Corral, but we can put a pin in that for right now. But so there's this. Was that influence from the Dead? Was this an influence from learning acoustic or playing acoustic? Where did like this like kind of intent to like go that Americana roots route come from?
Going to music festivals and seeing grass bands.
All right,
You know?
it could be yeah.
Yeah, and
Definitely, I think it's fair to say that it kind of probably for most of us started with Olden in the Way.
Yeah.
Kind of
Okay.
a lot of it, which is the great one of the great bluegrass bands of all time, where Jerry Garcia played banjo.
Yeah.
And it kind of opened the door to hippies that love bluegrass. That's what laid the foundation. Then Billy Strings picks it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, Billy Strings rips. It's weird because it seems like a complete A and B thing. Like occasionally you get that beat, right, that you can groove to, because at those type of festivals you kind of notice like, oh, bands will lock into this groove, and that's where everyone's doing the spinning thing, and that's kind of where they rely a lot of the times, which is cool because that's how it works. But like then there's the bluegrass thing, and I was always like, that doesn't make sense. And you learn about like the roots of the Grateful Dead and how Jerry Garcia is kind of like wanted to be like a bluegrass guy, but like it's different from like attempting to be one and being as good at the traditional stuff like you guys all are. Like Golden Cap Corral is a fucking good bluegrass band. You guys all have the bluegrass chops. You know what I mean? It's not just like something you can just be like, oh, we're just switching now. You know what I mean? So like there had was there like a turning point where or was this just we're having fun learning this shit like this shit we're having fun learning this shit, but no, we're having fun learning this like this kind of acoustic approach to things, and like was that like a transition or was that always there from the rip?
You're talking about incorporating it into Grav, or just like when
Just
we
like-
really?
Well, yeah, because like you guys go into like these country breakdowns. You know what I mean? Like in the middle of songs, it'll boil down, then it'll start the country beat, and they'll start doing the chicken picking, and like that riff, root fifth thing starts happening, and then you're fucking ripping. You know what I mean? But not just like ripping to the sense of like, oh, we can do that a little bit, but like it's a pure like, these guys know how to do that bit really well. And knowing you guys out of Grav, because I know our listeners are like, wow, these Grav people, I'm really confused now. But like, you guys can do that full-heartedly in its own setting. So that's not just like, oh, we can fill the bit here, or oh, I learned my 13th chords, I can make that breakdown sound jazzy. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a full commitment to the bit. Was that like? I guess my question is that from the rip, or was that like later on and slowly built upon? And is that something that you... Okay, yeah.
I feel like we definitely went into it a lot more fiercely once we started really doing the chorale, you know.
Like
a bunch.
Steve started playing banjo, and
Yeah.
that was like the big. Once Steve started playing banjo, then he had a mandolin, and he was like,
Well, yeah, we owe it all to my cousin Timmy Schleicher.
Yeah.
Steve said he wanted to play banjo, and I was
Yeah.
like, fun fact, I can get you a banjo, because my cousin Timmy was in college at the time, and he had 2 banjos.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I borrow this banjo? And that's what laid the foundation. Then I used to play mandolin like when I was around, like when I was learning guitar at the
Yeah.
same time. I
Okay.
didn't know what I wanted to be. I wanted to just like fit in
Yeah.
wherever I could, you know.
Right.
And Timmy's band at the time had guitarists and banjo, so I like had mandolins to try to like fit into that band. So I gave him the mandolin. And someone has to play just
Yeah.
acoustic guitar, and I was still just learning guitar at that point too.
Okay.
Like, you know, only been playing it for like a couple years at that point. So, like, I'll just stick to that. Which, little did I know, you have to learn like a way different vocabulary too. Still, but that's when, yeah, it just like we started doing it for years and years and years before we decided that we should take it to live
Yeah.
shows.
Okay.
But
Is there like a incorporating it in Grav sets? Like, is there at one point you guys are going to be like
we used to.
acoustic time?
we used to.
Okay.
We called it Blue Grav.
Yeah.
I was playing the bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So when did banjo become like? You're like, oh, I got bass pretty good. What's a banjo other than almost like a 5-stringed instrument because it's got like a string that goes halfway through
Yeah.
the neck.
Yep, the high top string
Yeah, yeah.
typically isn't fretted. So
Yeah, it's
when,
more
when
for
you're
the
picking it, you're
drone.
just
Yeah.
just,
But it's
you know.
completely different technique. So when
It
were you
is.
like, I'm bored with this?
No, I wasn't bored with it. I just really liked it, and
Yeah.
obviously, like, the banjo sounds awesome.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It looks awesome. It's great. You know, so that's why I kind of just wanted to do it. It was that had nothing to do with not wanting to play bass. You know, but
Right.
just adding on,
Okay.
and then it was fun doing it like in the encore slot. Kind of
Oh,
like we
okay.
like had some
Okay.
party gigs and
Yeah.
you know.
That's cool. Party encore around the fire, ringing around, we're breaking it down.
That
That's
yeah,
cool.
we played in like a big
Yeah.
garage shed at that one party.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was funny.
But so kind of bounce to the new EP that's coming out. Like sonically, I mean, I've heard some of the songs just from recent gigs. You know what I mean? Sonically, what's going to be? And I guess maybe I heard the thing from Jay, the thing you recorded with Jay, Studio
yeah,
44. Is that going to be on that?
That song
Okay.
is
So what?
different version.
Okay, so I heard the demo version.
Yeah.
Per se. Sonically, what I mean, harmonically, you guys are much like that skill developed, like significantly from record 1 to record 2. Not that the harmonies are bad, but there's just more of them.
Oh,
And
vocal
like,
harmonies and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, vocal harmonies, and like, which is dope, cause like, was it run away, like
Yeah,
That's-
Wheel Breakaway.
breakaway?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fucking banging track.
Since we were talking about it, this new version has banjo on it.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
it sounds great. It's
So-
so fun.
I guess that's where my question was going to go. Sonically, this EP, how is it going to differ from, aside from just playing, Are you taking like a different like production route on it?
Do you
Are
want to know the
adding
thing
more?
about it?
Yeah, I want to know the thing about it. Unpin that.
It's a fake live album.
What? You
In
big
this-
phonies.
In the studio, we generated
Friends?
crowd noise. Yeah.
How? Tell me the way.
It was great. Well,
Just
'cause-
like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just recorded ourselves talking a bunch
Yeah.
and layered a bunch of layers.
Moved
Okay.
glasses, like
Yeah.
picked up the stool,
acted
walked around
like-
a little bit.
Acted like bar people.
Yeah.
Had those conversations.
Yeah, so like the whole album, like, it's supposed to be like a guy walking into like Smedley's or something.
Okay.
Like closing the door, and then like we start.
Gotcha.
And then it's like a whole Grav show compacted into 5 songs, 7 tracks.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, the concept of the Grav song is the experience of taking a Grav. The concept of the hubbub EP is what's all the hubbub about with this band Grav, right? It's
okay,
like Grav
okay.
shows are a cultural phenomenon in Northeast Ohio, and it's like,
And we're
so
you heard it here.
yes,
you heard it
and it's
here.
like there's things that happen at Grav shows. I've been to enough of them to tell you that it's like they have a mood, and it's like I've never been to one, but it's like, you know,
What's that like?
yeah. So it's
Okay.
like we had to bring in a third party,
Okay.
our buddy Eric Sieber, who's been to lots of Grav shows, to kind of get his perspective on things and how kind of built how it is. You enter, there's you know, what we do. We kind of do songs into each other.
Yeah.
At a point where and one song we jam really long live. We just kind of fade it out because we don't need. If you want to see us jam on it, we're gonna jam on it live.
Yeah.
This is the studio version. It fades into an intermission, and there's
Okay.
the mood of that when everyone's hanging out outside, and it's like, you know, everyone's there. It's like,
Oh, because everyone walked out.
It's
They're
like,
like, oh, they're playing this song,
Yeah.
so we're having a cigarette. We'll come back. And does it come back to that song? Like, oh, they're still on this.
Oh no, it's
No.
supposed to be more like a set break.
Gotcha,
it's-
gotcha.
Fades into separate. Yeah, maybe those guys left, kind of went out to have their cigarette earlier, and then we end up ending the first set, come out.
That's so cool. Is there going to be a video aspect to it?
That
I know
could-
it's a steep question, but
I
There
doubt
should
it.
be.
I think
can
that's-
see
But
that.
Maybe the next
Yeah.
record. I don't know.
okay.
Who knows? Not
Who
say, no,
knows?
won't say no to anything.
Not that I can do it, but like I think that'd be a cool, at least as far as visually seeing all this happen, would be really cool too. So when he had that meeting, when Eric came over and was like, you guys were like, tell me about seeing us, was he like, well, not that he sounds, he's like, you sometimes will look to the left longer and like, Josh never ties shoes. Like, was there like weird things that were brought up that you're like,
No.
thanks? Like,
I mean, we went in there knowing what we were gonna do, like with the crowd noise and all that, and
Yeah.
it was kind of all the ideas came.
that's so
We were
cool.
doing it.
He plays kind of the main character of,
Yeah.
you know, like
Concert
the guy that's
attendee.
attending.
Yeah.
You are Eric Sieber going to a Grav show,
It's a
and
first person album.
That's
Right.
that's the
EP.
video. Is you get
Yeah.
you get a GoPro, you strap it one to his head, one to the sides of his head, so he's just like a robot.
like,
And you have a show. You film 3 shows and just have him have a good time.
yeah, what
and
do you
then
call it when you can
Pretty good.
like move your phone and it's like
Right? Yeah, you get the
VR.
mode?
Yeah.
no, you get the things. You mount this to Eric's body, right? You
Mm-hmm.
you have him go to three shows, and you edit the best out of all of it. Make sure like 2 of them are crazy and one's kind of normal. You know what I mean? And just like have him have a crazy time. You make that into a quick 1-song video. That's what you do for the video.
that could be very hip. What song would it be?
I love that it's a concept though, and it's not just was there a concept for besides just Grav on Grav from Grav? Was there a concept to that first record, or was it more of a song collection?
More of a song collection.
That's-
But within the songs, though, there's a lot
Yeah.
of like conceptual writing and stuff.
Okay.
Like when I go to write lyrics to a song, I usually think about a topic,
Okay.
and then you know.
Is it like so do you do that? I mean, you did Jay Willis live writing with the group. Do you typically take away, like do a quick recording of the progression right at home and come back?
I always write at home.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm one of those guys where I kind of have to be alone and like lock myself away.
Right, well, because it's
Come
not
back out.
fun.
Yeah.
Writing sucks.
You can't just come up with it on the spot like that.
You gotta like
hard.
labor over what rhymes with banana. Like I'm stuck, and does that have narratively like how does it express my feelings?
That's why I always try to pick a topic. You
Yeah.
know? I wish I was better at like just writing about nothing or just
Right.
like something less specific. Because some of my favorite writers like Robert Hunter from The Dead.
Okay.
You can kind of just like
Say a thing, but
Yeah,
to
be
them it probably
artistic.
is like
it's a mystery.
yeah,
you know
yeah.
What I mean? What it's really about.
I
But
think more specific, and Leah, maybe you can hone in on this as a songwriter. I think more specific resonates more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Like if you can really like see the thing, and I think that kind of the country music thing really pays off in that. Like they're like
Yeah, paint
my
the
Bush
picture.
beer can and my Ford red truck. You know what I mean?
It's like, well, yeah, well, I mean, it's like, I don't know. Hank Williams says it so plain, but it's like the most like profound shit you ever heard. And
Right.
all he says, "I'm so lonesome I could cry." Damn.
Bah,
Like,
boom.
he just said it. There's nothing
Yeah.
crazy about that.
Right.
It's just like, damn, though.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't think me personally, I'm not at this point yet where I write very personally.
Okay.
I can't do it, and that's why I feel like I don't think it quite can hit that resonant peak.
yeah.
But
Yet.
you know, I try.
Yet.
To. Yeah.
You
hopefully.
will. You're going to. Yeah, yeah. It only takes time, right? You can only write so much before you're like, oh, I meant that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to do that. What do you
Like-
mean?
You crack.
you crack because that's the experience you have, you know. Like, should we? We've been going at it for a minute. What do you guys think? Is there anything else you guys want to plug?
September 11th,
September
Winchester.
11th.
Be there. Grab a CD.
Cool
Yeah,
new
yeah.
shirts.
Yeah, we got new shirts. We wanted to gift you one of the new Grav shirts.
Sick. Fuck yeah.
You
I'll
can
go
even
one
have
very much.
one of each color.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You got magnets?
We got
Magnets?
magnets. We
Oh,
got pins.
shit.
New stickers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when does the record drop? Is it
It's the
the
11th.
the 11th on
Yeah.
all the streaming platforms?
9/11.
Midnight.
9/11. Midnight.
So
Wait,
if
the
you're-
midnight, the night before, the Friday? Okay.
Yeah, so if you're up till
Okay, that's a good idea because
midnight
then,
on the 10th, you
yeah,
can hear
yeah.
it.
And then
Awesome.
if you want the CD, which includes
Huh?
the back cover,
Oh. Which
Front
is
cover is designed by my mother. Did
Really?
Some artwork.
that's
for
worth
it.
mentioning. Yeah, Clay's mom made
That
this
cool
art
circle
picture
thing?
cover.
Oh no, it's you'll see it. It's
Okay.
on the cover of the EP.
Okay, okay.
It'll be sweet.
Nice.
Goes along with the concept in a very interesting way. if you
Okay.
ask me.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Any other shows you guys want to plug?
Following Saturday we'll be at Smedley's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it for now.
Leah? Anything on your end?
Oh, we're all playing with Leah
Oh, yeah.
on September 11th.
Oh.
They will be at noon for Waterloo Arts Fest.
Okay, cool,
and
cool.
then their celebration begins at night.
Leah has amazing songs and great records.
Thanks.
Very much
Thanks,
so, very much
alright.
so. We did an episode a long time ago for something.
Yeah,
I
it
forget.
was during quarantine. I
We
was
sh-
watching Riverdale.
Yeah, plug that Riverdale. No, you did something with Gaul. That's what we did. You did Gaul's thing. Showcase or whatever. Like the virtual thing.
Oh,
That's why I was yeah. We should have done one for your record. Tell us about your new record, Leah,
Oh,
before
we're
we
here? Okay.
Yeah, since we're here.
Yep, dropped August 7th.
Huh?
It's called Healing.
It's
There'll
very
be
good.
2 music videos coming out September and October.
Yeah, I hear there's going to be a really good, very
Yeah,
good accordion player.
Dave's gonna be in it. October, probably middle October. It's
Okay.
the circus one for Tightrope.
Sick. And what's the other one going to be?
For Healing, the titled album
Okay.
should be out maybe next week.
Nice.
Whoa.
We'll see.
Ba-boom. You heard it here.
Wow.
So that song, I told you, I got all excited once I listened to that, when you put that out. That song in particular, like production-wise, came out really, really well.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone did. Not next week. I'm sorry. The following week.
So
Like
are we
the
looking
week
in
of
October?
the 13th, maybe
Okay.
sometime. But yeah, no, I like how Steve put his input
Yeah.
and like how he mixed that song, and everyone came in.
That's awesome. I love how small the circle is getting. You know what I mean? Like as far as like the most, I feel like music movements happen in scenes of friends caring about each other's music, and like that's like just the fact that you guys are backing up Leah, and then like with the whole Dog for Diego thing, all the homies that came in on that, you guys being one of, you know what I mean? Like I think just speaks so highly about the music scene we have here and how much people actually care, which makes that sentiment about I can't wait to do that for some other kid at some other mic night resonate so true, which I think is highly your guys' characters. And like so thanks for hitting me up. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sick. I'm gonna hit the stop button.